Call this meeting of the Deputy Sheriff's Civil Service Commission to order. First item on the agenda is reading and approve the minutes. Is it all commissioners had a chance to read the minutes this evening?
Have
Have a motion to approve?
motion to approve.
Second. Any more discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Investigating item 2024-0003, investigating test providers for Deputy Sheriff Promotional Examination Services. Mr. Alderton.
All right, so as a reminder of last month's meeting, you as commissioners voted to move forward with Standard and Associates as the new test vendor for the promotional test for the deputies. At the direction of Mr. Anthony Delegati, legal counsel for Berkeley County, we needed to obtain permission from the West Virginia Division of Personnel before we could utilize this company. So following your decision last month, I mailed out a letter of which the president signed on November 22nd to Miss Elizabeth Arthur. She is the deputy director for the West Virginia Division of Personnel. In the letter, we stated that Standard and Associates were the vendor that you folks were looking to go to. It was requested for approval of the West Virginia Division of Personnel for you folks to start utilizing Standard and Associates. That letter is in your packet. The letter that she wrote back, that letter that you wrote, Mr. President, was dated on the 22nd of November. She wrote a letter back to you folks on December 6th, and the letter was received giving their approval, as in the West Virginia DOP, to utilize Standard and Associates for promotional testing, only for promotional testing. So that letter packet, well, and those were sent to you all in the read ahead. Last month, there was also some discussion of reimbursement by a deputy should he or she refuse to make reimbursement. I did meet at County Petrucci's urging, meet with Mr. Chad Weinbrenner, who he's deputy county administrator, what could be done in that situation. Weinbrenner says it's easy. This would do a payroll reduction. Other paycheck would not pay. However, he said the preferred method is for them to write the check out. In discussion with Mr. Wine previously, that's what he had indicated as well. The deputy would write out a check. That check up, and they put line item, training and education. Will be well, he needs to customizing a test.
So I think if we had a form that they signed prior to the test, agreeing to either pay it and then give us the right to withhold, or the county the right to withhold it if they don't.
Correct.
That's what we would probably need to do.
Correct. And Mr. Weinbrenner said to clearly state it in the rules and regulations, outline it by item, what needs to be done, and what the consequence would be if they didn't pay. It would be taken through payroll deduction by the county. Everything that Mr. Mozzie, the legal counsel for the county, has said, Mr. Wine has said, Mr. Weinbrenner has said, got to be clearly spelled.
Okay.
So he says, you guys are going down the right path. So that's where we stand on that.
Can I interrupt you for a moment?
You may.
You've got a promotional examination confirmation form. Have they seen that?
Yes, sir. They were given that form at last month's revision meeting. It's not in your packet. That's that form I gave you all at the revision. And I said, this is the first rendition of it. I think that form just needs to be dodged some, and I sent it to Mr. Weinbrenner as well for discussion. Yes, all that would need to be spelled out on there as well.
I think the rules have to reflect this document. Reference to
Yeah.
this. All right, I'm sorry.
A copy of it in there, yeah.
Yep. So, and that's, at this point, I think you still need to keep this item open because we still got some more work to do,
Right.
but we're good.
Okay. Moving on, item 2024-0013, open hire process, IAW current rules and regulations. So the revision and update of the rules is progressing quickly, not quickly, but we're almost done. So hopefully, after tomorrow's meeting, and give Scott Wilson, who's kind of our secretary for that time, to update it, we'll be able to send something out to all the parties, review, probably a 30-day review, and hopefully, suggest any changes or find anything that looks out of whack, and hopefully we get them approved. So,
Along with that, again, going back to kind of what Mr. Weinbrenner had said, I did mention that, suggested that the legal team look over it as well to make sure.
Oh, absolutely.
That they look over it.
okay, next item, requests for new open hire physical agility and written examination. Ink's not dry on the last one, but I guess we need to have another one.
Well, this one relates back to.
That's the prior one?
That's the
Okay.
prior. This is the one involving the sheriff's letter requesting the two be removed. On the test for
Oh, okay.
October 26th, there were two applicants that took the test, two of them that passed the test. Background checks were conducted, and we received a letter on Tuesday, December 10th this month from Chief Young at the direction of Sheriff Blair to request to remove those two names on the eligibility list. Applicant Mackenzie Duclos and applicant Riley Miller. Certified letters were mailed to both applicants on December 11th. Each letter contained a form for the applicants to return to our office indicating whether they did want a public hearing or they wanted to decline a public hearing. The certified letter that was sent to applicant Duclos was signed for by him on December 14th, and he personally returned the form to me on this past Monday, December 16th, indicating he does want a public hearing. Hopefully tonight we can set that date and time to hold the public hearing, and then if we do, I will send him a letter out tomorrow stating what day and time.
We heard from the other person at all? I mean,
Kind of, sort of. What each applicant was told in their letter, they needed to let us know within a week of receiving the letter. We just got certified receipt delivered back to us today for applicant Miller. But that's all it is. He signed for it on Monday the 6th. He signed for it on the 14th as well.
the letter says by the 23rd, correct?
No later than the 23rd. It said within a week of receiving the letter, or must be received within 1 week of this notice, or no later than Monday, December 23rd, 2024 at 5 p.m. Put in the letter, you may mail or scan and email your intent to request, decline a public hearing acknowledgement form, Failure to notify the Civil Service Commission of your decision in writing by Monday, December 23rd, 2024 at 5 p.m. shall be deemed that you have waived your right to a public hearing, and your name will be removed from the list of eligible candidates without further appeal. Then, like I said, as of today, we just got the letter or the certified receipt back. He hasn't called. He hasn't, like, applicant.
Those hearings have to be separate anyway. So even if they did request one, we'd have to have two. Then we'd have to have two.
Yeah, but they could be on the same
Back
day.
to back.
Well, yeah, it's true.
But we don't, there's no time period from when, so we could set a date and say it's 6 o'clock, and then if the other guy requests one as well, we can have his at 8 o'clock or 7:30 or something.
Correct. And I would suggest to you that you do it February 15th. That's your next meeting. It kind of piggyback on what you did with one in October. It was after your month. The thing about it is, we just gave a test this past Saturday. Test results won't come back till probably Monday or Tuesday of next week, holiday week. So by the time we give the names to the sheriff for background check, timing, I think. But
We can't provide a new list until these are resolved, correct?
Correct.
Well, I think this is a good idea.
Yeah,
January
I'm
15th
fine with
works.
that. You want to make it, say, 6:30 or 6:15?
I would go 6:15, 6 or 6:15, and the only reason being, we don't have a lot of agenda
Right.
items, so we won't go that full
Who
hour.
knows
I
what
don't-
next month holds, though?
That's true.
Well, we can go at 6. Just go with 6 o'clock. That gives us an hour to have our meeting next month. We'll just make sure we're done. So I would just go with 6 o'clock.
That's fine.
And then, because if you have to have a second one, it's going to be at like 7:30. We won't be done till 9 o'clock. So
What I would like for you all to do is kind of give, don't use like the word blanket authority, but if this other applicant Miller, does respond back saying he wants a public hearing, let's say now that it'll be that same night,
Times to be determined.
time to be determined,
That's fine with me.
Immediately following.
immediately following.
Okay.
So,
You want a motion? You want a motion for that?
Yeah.
All right. I move that we set the do close the hearing at January 15th, 6 p.m. And if, in the event that Riley Miller requests a hearing, we schedule him immediately thereafter.
I'd second it.
Okay. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, now the next one. New Bud 2024-002-9, December 14th, open hire, physical agility and written exam.
okay, so with that one, it's unknown how many applications were actually handed out, but what we do know is that there were 6 applications that were returned by the cutoff date of Thursday, November 26, 2024. This resulted in 6 applicants eligible to test, and I'm pleased to say that all 6 of those applicants showed up to test on Saturday morning, which I was pleasantly surprised with that. Only 4 of those 6 were required to take the physical agility test because 2 of them are currently certified, whatever term you want to use, previously certified. They are actually certified law enforcement officers at the present time. So that left 4 of them to test. Out of the 4 that test, there were 2 of them that did not complete the 1.5 miles as required in 14 minutes and 30 seconds. So that left a field of 4 to actually take the written examination. And So let me digress just a second back to the agility test. I'd like to say a special thanks to Deputy Darrell Cox, who was on hand down there for the testing. Had he not have been there, I don't know what we would have done. Reason being, somebody was going to be there to open the gate. And he didn't have a key to get in that gate, and no one else did. So by him being a school resource officer for Spring Mills, he was able to go through the football locker area. Essentially, special thanks to Darrell. He very accommodating for us. So out of the 4 that did take the written test, it's an 84 examination test. They have 2 hours to complete it. We started the testing, told them to turn the first page at 10:17. First applicant turned in his test to us at 11:38, and then the last applicant turned in his application or his test at 11:47. So we were out of there way before. But at this point, we did mail back the test materials to Charleston at a cost of $12.55 on Monday, December 16th. Now we just wait on those tests to come back. The tracking number shows that it's not supposed to arrive in the person until tomorrow by 9 p.m. Just wait now.
Okay. All right, next item, budget for 2024-25 fiscal year.
Okay, that information is in your all's packet as well. There's 2 budget sheets in there. One is the current budget sheet. That is up to date as of yesterday. Well, let me back up. It was printed as of yesterday. I mentioned a minute ago about the postage that cost $12.55. That amount is not subtracted from the sheet. The other document that you folks have in there is the proposed budget for the county clerk's proposed budget for fiscal year 2024-2025. For the other commissioners, the county clerk did have a meeting with Sheriff Blair, President Dobson earlier last week. Go over the documents that you all have in front of you. All parties agreed that acceptable, but again, this is your all's meeting here, so if there's any discussion, and that went out in the read ahead to you as well. Well, for your
So I just point out a couple of things. It looks like a huge increase, but if you take out professional services, which we've always had and never really used, and factor in that we're going with a new testing service that has some upfront costs, significant upfront costs, that won't be annual costs. It's not quite it's more like a $20,000 budget without those items. So, but we are hoping we get better training and education for our guys and
We still have to take this in
for
front of
promotional. What's that?
We still got to take this in front of the county council to get it approved.
Yeah, the clerk will take it there.
Right.
The other increase in there, and there's a cover letter that was from me to Tony for the proposal of the budget increase. We took into account advertising. I think we needed to enhance that some. A small help wanted ad right now, it costs $422 one time. And that's typically all we do running because we're
And our
trying to push the budget.
target people probably don't even read the newspaper on top of that. So
No.
We could probably get more with
Oh, yeah.
Facebook and Twitter ads and things like that than,
And I did talk to the county clerk about that, and he has said that if that's what you also desire, and work on that. Start up a Facebook page. But the other thing we looked at for that budget was the advertising and professional services and training and education. All that is incorporated into the proposed budget.
I'm a little slow, just wanted to make
No
sure I
worries.
understand it. You guys, you went over the budget with Patricia. This reflects that, just cover that history.
Correct. The
And-
reasoning.
And Mr. Petrucci is comfortable with it.
He is.
Okay, gotcha.
He is.
So he has to present it to the commission.
He does. Yes, sir.
and I will probably be there when he does, just in case there's questions for our side.
Yes, sir. I think
I think this is a big step forward for
February,
us.
maybe. sir?
Yes, it is.
You know when you go before the commission, sir? At this point in time, we've kind of got the budget proposal in the rearview mirror. So the one increase was, it was for the testing, $16,000, a little over $16,000. And the bulk of that is, as I alluded to last month, results in promotional tests for workforce. Earlier in the year, we had 24 that were eligible to test. So
And hopefully we do a better job with this. We don't have as many vacancies in the future. So
Exactly.
do we have a motion to approve the budget for?
Sure, I move we approve the budget request.
I second that.
Second. Any more discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. New business. I do see a request for a new test.
yes, sir. Chief Young sent a letter, I think it was on Monday, to go ahead because they have 6 vacancies. We know at the very most, only 4 people, all 4 passed the background check. That still leaves 2 vacancies, and that exhausts the list. So I want to go ahead and set a date. Look at this point in time, we may have to wait till next month. I never heard back from Ms. Sullivan to give us dates that met her schedule and your all schedules. So I had said, ask her about that on Saturday. All for the test.
Is it conceivable we could do this in January or February, or are we looking at probably March to?
I think you're looking late February. One thing we want to try and keep in mind when we do the test, we want to stay away from the first weekend of a month. Reason being, past we've had people from Air National Guard and Army National Guard apply. Typically, the first weekend of every month is training assembly for them. So we try to stay away from that.
What's the time frame to when we approve to when? How long do we need in there to promote the exam? What's the time period again?
The way the state code reads, it says to give the applicant adequate notice. So whenever we set a closing date for the application, it says in the state code about a 2-week notice. I think that's adequate notice.
So
Tests come in pretty quick from West Virginia Division of Personnel, or at least
Sheriff, would you or Chief like to comment on that, or? No, as far as how urgent the need, I know we need people, but. Is there a requirement it has to be outside? I mean, can they run in a gym or something, or does Shepherd have an indoor track down there?
They do, but we want to try and emulate what they do at the academy. Day one of the academy, they run outside, rain, snow, whatever.
Let's
So
just do that. Schedule it. Snowing, raining.
that's what we want to try and emulate. Down there, is from what I gathered this past weekend, they run in the snow. They also have those cadets out going around putting salt down and things like that. We don't have that luxury, so I mean that's something. You get into maybe the middle of March, that snow kind of, and I know I've seen some big snows in
Yeah.
March. Some of our biggest have come in March, but I think we're a little bit clearer than we are.
So we could wait and set this next month.
I would, and I'll have everything ready. All I need to do is get a date, and I can do the turnaround rather quick.
And if we're having a mild winter, we can maybe do it in February.
Late
If we
February.
can get the schedule worked out.
Yes, sir.
All right. Any other new business?
If I may kind of digress a second, we talked about the request from the sheriff to stricken move applicant Mackenzie Duclos. I recommend we give that issue item 2024-2030 for tracking purposes on that, and for the request to stricken / remove applicant Raleigh Miller, give that issue number 2024-2031.
Any objections? No. Go ahead. Let's do
Okay.
that.
And request to give the next exam. Chief Young just sent this week. I would like to give that one issue number 2024-2033.
2033.
Yes, sir. 2024 dash.
00.
Yep, you're right.
Okay.
All those are 00. Yep. Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, I knew we had a lot of issues, but I didn't think it was 200 or 2,000.
Not yet.
Yeah, no.
Not yet.
Just seems like it. Anything else? Sheriff, Chief, anything from the floor? You're the only ones here, so. Nothing? All right, next meeting is January 15th, 5 o'clock.
Announcements.
You have an announcement?
We do. I do.
Okay.
I'd like to extend recognition for Corporal Tyler Dobson. I'd like to congratulate and recognize him on he's stepping down as the Deputy Sheriff Assistant, where he has served the past 8 years. Done an amazing job. He really has, and has always had the best interests of the Deputy Sheriff Association. My understanding, he's going to be replaced by Corporal Jody Strickler. Interesting to note that Corporal Strickler, I believe, according to what I looked today, he just celebrated 5 years with your office, Sheriff, on Monday the 16th. Promoted to Corporal October 1st of 23. Or like I said, December 16th. Again, please administrative portion. Echo it. Tyler's done a great job. The other item, I'd like to give another recognition to the Berkeley County IT department. You'll notice on some of your documents, and I even put in your packet this little graphic there. Jeff Fry of the IT department created that. Got to thinking a lot of these other agencies within the county have something. I wanted you folks to have your own branding as well, so I reached out to the IT department. Jeff is a very creative person, and in no time he had created that logo. So thanks to Jeff. And then last announcement, which where you were going, I believe, sir. The next meeting would be 5 o'clock Wednesday, January 15th. Hopefully here in these chambers, which will be followed hopefully by a public hearing commencing at 6. I cannot request in this room until the first day of every month. It is reserved. Default goes to the county commission. Rightfully so.
Once they approve our budget.
There you go. So
Hey.
that's all the announcements.
You can tell Jeff Fry I'm getting my tattoo.
All right, if there's no further business, we'll stand adjourned.
We need a motion.
Do we?
Move adjourned.
Second.
All those in favor?
At
Aye, Cat.
5:32, we are adjourned.
It's a world record.
Yeah, the multi-purpose, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we could use that.
And there's a phone
We'll
in there,
have
right?
the same IT level